Hi, I'm Inga and I'm here to encourage you during these difficult times. I want to talk about today about being focused and staying focused on your goals, your plans, and your objectives. I'm reminded in the Bible of the story of the laborers, those who were hired during the first part of the day, those who were hired during the middle part of the day, and those who were hired shortly at the end all received the same reward. When I first read this lesson in the New Testament, I thought it was very unfair that those laborers who had worked all day should receive the same sort of compensation as those who had only worked for the end part of the day. But I learned a lesson this year when I ran the Bahamas Half Marathon. When I first started to train to run the marathon, I couldn't run on a treadmill for 5 minutes at any sort of speedy pace. But I persisted, and eventually I was able to go outside and run about 6 miles, bearing in mind that I had to be able to run 13.1 miles. Then I gradually increased to 8 miles, but I made a mistake in thinking that I was running 11 miles instead, and I only found out this mistake at nearer to the race day. A lady encouraged me. She said, well, since you've signed up for the race, continue and run the race. So I was very discouraged. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, but I said, since I'd come this far, then I would just run the race. So the day came, I started the race. I started in the back. And I finished in the back. But during the course of the race, persons told me, they were trying to be helpful. They said, well, come, let me run with you and we'll run this race a little bit faster. But I knew that if I increased my pace, then I was definitely not going to be able to finish the race. When I was running, I had several challenges in front of me. I had to get over the Paradise Island bridges, both bridges, going over one and coming back over the other. And so I had to get through that. By mile 3, my feet had gone numb, so I couldn't feel my feet and I was developing a blister. By mile 8, I was wondering why I even decided to do this race. I didn't understand why I was putting myself through this. And I was almost on the verge of giving up until I encountered that same co-worker, and she said to me, you take this sugar supplement, you take this now, and then when you start to see when you're within 1 mile of the finish line, you take another one. So at mile 8, I took the supplement, and I can tell you that gave me wings. So I sped along and I got to mile 10 and I was starting to fade. And then I saw something encouraging that said, well, you thought it was a good idea 3 months ago. And 3 months ago, yes, I thought that running a marathon would be a very good idea. By this time, I was still not feeling my feet. My feet were still numb, and I had a blister now. So I continued on. I didn't stop. I kept going. And then finally I started to see the finish line. My friends, your life takes on a good perspective, a different perspective, when you see the finish line. So as my friend suggested, I took the supplement and I ran as if I was Shaunae Miller running in the Olympics. I felt so happy that I was going to finish this race. This was the hardest thing I had ever done, and I was going to finish it. I wasn't the fittest person and I wasn't the youngest person, but at the end of the day, I received the same prize that those who had begun the race got. I got my medal, and this is one of my proudest achievements. So stay focused. The race is not for the swift, but to the one who endures to the end. So if you feel encouraged by these messages and would like to hear some more, I invite you to subscribe and press like at the end of this video.